We can see the next question. You can press on the buzzer again. Okay, it stops on a bluebird, so it's probably tweets behind.
My life is like a Christopher Nolan movie. I don't really understand what's going on.
What would you tell him or her?
I'd say don't try to understand it, just feel it. Here we go.
The important thing isn't can you read music, it's can you hear it. Can you hear the music, Robert? Music.
And when we stop, we find a world that is happening rather than being done, being shoved. And that happening, as distinct from doing, is our fundamental self. And our fundamental self is not something just inside the skin.
How can it move before I touch it?
From your point of view, you caught it, but from the bullet's point of view, you dropped it.
But cause comes before effect.
No, that's just the way we see time.
Well, what about free will?
That bullet wouldn't have moved if you hadn't put your hand there. Either way we run the tape, you made it happen. Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
When we think of Christopher Nolan, we think Inception, Interstellar, and most recently Oppenheimer. These are all masterworks of film featuring commentary on the nature of reality, time, and human existence itself. But one film of his that truly emphasizes the metaphysical is his mind-bending film, TENET. Released during the pandemic, it was unfortunately overlooked and faded out of the public conscious quickly. Having seen it in the theater 4 times and on Blu-ray 9 times, it has become my all-time favorite Christopher Nolan movie, and most likely will be considered his best work in the decades to come.
Don't touch them.
What the hell happened here?
It hasn't happened yet.
After 14 watches, my deduction is that at its heart, at its core, TENET is a film about the theoretical, simultaneous existence of free will and determinism at the same time. Essentially, in the words of Alan Watts, we are creating life, and life is happening to us at the same time.
Is your head hurt yet?
Yes.
But before we dive deeper, let's establish the foundation of this theory. What is free will, and what is determinism? Free will, in the way philosophers, mystics, and filmmakers wrestle with it, is the belief that we are the authors of our own actions, that every decision, from the small, almost invisible ones to the seismic, life-altering ones, is something we choose. It's the feeling that I could have done otherwise, that the path we take is sculpted by intention, desire, and personal agency. Determinism is the opposite, but also weirdly the mirror. It's the idea that every action is the inevitable result of a chain of prior events, that our choices aren't really choices, but outcomes, ripples produced from causes stretching backward in time beyond our control. In a deterministic universe, everything that will happen already had to happen. It's not fate in the poetic sense, it's physics. It's the cold machinery of cause and effect.
Just save the world. Can't leave anything to chance. But can we change things if we do it different? What's happened's happened. It's just an expression of faith in the mechanics of the world. It's not an excuse to do nothing. Fate? Call it what you want. What do you call it? Reality?
I don't think we have a shred of free will. Despite, 95% of philosophers, and I think probably the majority of neuroscientists, saying that we have free will in at least some circumstances, I don't think there's any at all. And the reason for this is you do something, you behave, you make a choice, whatever, and to understand why you did that, where did that intention come from, part of it was due to like the sensory environment you were in the previous minute. Some of it is from the hormone levels in your bloodstream that morning. Some of it is from whether you had a wonderful or stressful last 3 months and what sort of neuroplasticity happened. Part of it is what hormone levels you were exposed to as a fetus. Part of it is what culture your ancestors came up with, and thus how you were parented when you were a kid. All of those are in there, and you can't understand where behavior is coming from without incorporating all of those.
And here's the fascinating part that religious teachers, physicists, and people like Alan Watts stumble into. Both feel true at the same time. We live as if our choices matter, and yet the universe behaves as if everything is a result of something else. In daily life, we bounce between the two without even noticing. This is where TENET becomes more than just an action movie. Nolan isn't asking us to pick a side. He's showing us a world where free will and determinism coexist, not as contradictions, but as two layers of the same reality. You have to start looking at the world in a new way, and that new way is realizing that time doesn't move cleanly forward, and choice doesn't exist cleanly independent of destiny. TENET uses inversion, time moving backwards alongside forward time, as a metaphor for this physical knot. Our choices echo into the past just as much as the past pushes into our present. We are both the creators of our actions and the inevitable products of them. And once you understand that paradox, the film starts to make a different kind of sense. Not logically, but existentially.
There's a Cold War. Nuclear. Temporal.
Time travel.
No. Technology that can invert an object's entropy.
You mean reverse chronology? Like Feynman and Wheeler's notion of a positron as an electron, moving backwards in time.
Sure, that's exactly what I meant.
I have a master's in physics.
We'll try and keep up.
What is entropy? Simply put, it's the measure of disorder in the universe. Things naturally move from order to chaos. Ice melts, buildings crumble, heat spreads. The steady slide into disorder is what creates the arrow of time. Time moves forward because entropy increases. In TENET, Nolan flips that idea on its head. If entropy gives time its direction, then inverting entropy means reversing time itself. Bullets fly backwards, cars uncrash, people breathe in reverse. But more importantly, entropy becomes a metaphor. Pushing against entropy is pushing against fate, against the natural order of cause and effect. In other words, Nolan uses a real scientific principle to explore a philosophical question. Can you break the flow of destiny, or does even reverse time follow the same script?
When I got back, I glimpsed some other woman diving off the boat and he vanished. I never felt such envy.
You don't seem each other's type.
I'm for freedom.
If time runs forward is the assumption most films start with, TENET throws that assumption into a shredder and dances on top of the pieces. This movie isn't linear. It isn't even non-linear. It's cyclical. A loop sculpted by free will, locked by determinism, and held together by the character's awareness, or lack of awareness, of that loop. At the center of that cycle is the moment the protagonist throws himself the algorithm during the highway sequence. In a traditional story, this would be a revelation, a twist that changes everything. In TENET, it's not a twist. It's a self-fulfilling act, a closed causality. He only survives that scene because his future self already lived long enough to come back and save him. His choice and his destiny collapse into the same moment. Free will and determinism become indistinguishable. He does it because he did it. This looping logic is the foundation of the temporal pincer movement.
We're running a temporal pincer movement.
What?
The pincer movement. But not in space, in time. Half his team moves forward through the event, He monitors them and then attacks at the end moving backwards, knowing everything.
A tactic where one team moves forward through time while another moves backward, both influencing the same battle from the opposite temporal directions.
Hidden from the world is a city where anything can happen. And today, ladies and gents, in 10 minutes, it most assuredly does. You've been divided into two teams for a temporal pincer movement. We're red team moving forward. In order to distinguish the teams, you'll wear these. Our friends over there, blue team, led by Commander Wheeler, are inverted.
I don't think let us see them. Maybe we won't like what happened.
1 hour from now, they had this briefing. Then you dropped on the ridge above the hypercenter as close in time to the detonation as possible. Their objectives were clearance and clarification. Now this briefing has the benefit of their experience.
To us, it looks impossible. To the characters, it's strategy. To the universe of TENET, it's just Tuesday.
I wanted to be on the first wave.
There is no first wave. Red team and blue team operate simultaneously. Don't get on the chopper if you can't stop thinking in linear terms.
The genius here is that the pincer movement isn't just a military maneuver. It's Nolan's way of illustrating that knowledge is the real weapon. The future informs the past informs the future, and action becomes something that exists in both directions simultaneously. But the most mind-bending pincer of all is the one the protagonist performs on himself across his whole lifetime.
Hey, you never did tell me who recruited you, Neil. I only guessed by now. You did. Only not when you thought. You have a future in the past. Years ago for me, years from now for you. You've known me for years. For me, I think it's the end of a beautiful friendship. But for me, it's just the beginning. We get up to some stuff. You're gonna love it. You'll see. This whole operation's a temporal pincer. Whose? Yours! You're only halfway there. I'll see you at the beginning, friend.
In the future, long after the events of the film, he will found TENET.
I realized I wasn't working for you. We've both been working for me. I'm the protagonist.
He will put all the pieces in motion, recruit Neil, interfere with Sator, set up the very organization that eventually saves the world, and ironically, recruits him. The protagonist becomes the architect of his own origin story. He sends the ripple back into the past that creates the version of himself that we're watching. It's the ultimate closed loop. The protagonist becomes the cause of his own existence. In that sense, TENET is not a story that starts and ends. It's a story that folds, a Mobius strip, a temporal Ouroboros, a cinematic embodiment of the idea that your future self might be pulling the strings just as much as your past. It is a perfect synthesis of the film's worldview. Destiny and agency playing the same tune, forwards, backwards, forever.
You say in the ordinary way, I breathe, because you feel that breathing is something that you are doing voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. But you will also notice that when you are not thinking about breathing, your breathing goes on just the same. So the curious thing about breath is that it can be looked at both as a voluntary and an involuntary action. You can feel on the one hand, I am doing it, and on the other hand, it is happening to me. And that is why breathing is a most important part of meditation, because it is going to show you, as you become aware of your breath, that the hard and fast division that we make between what we do on the one hand and what happens to us on the other is arbitrary.
Well, TENET's not a film about time travel in the conventional sense. It's a film about the direction of time, and that's defined by a thing called entropy. All laws of physics are symmetrical. They're all identical, whichever direction time is running in, other than entropy. And there's debate in the world of physics as to whether that defines the direction of time or whether it just shows the direction of time, whether it's a cause of it or whether it's a product. TENET takes on this idea as entropy is the cause. What's happening in TENET is rather than just moving backwards and forwards in time, machines have been developed that can change the direction of time for an object or a person. So you're mixing the two directions of time within the same scene, within the same frame. You don't have to view cause and effect as defined by one coming before the other. There's nothing in the laws of physics that suggests you couldn't look at time in a different direction. So the scene where the protagonist holds his hand over the inverted bullet and it jumps up to his hand, you made it happen. Whether or not you drop the bullet, whether or not the bullet flies up to your hand, it has to be your hand, it has to be your will that's making it happen. If the popcorn kernel itself was running in a different direction of time, it can come up into the hand. In the film, we posit that's because its entropy is being reversed. And for that reason, a lot of TENET is constructed like the title.